When we look at the history of the Christmas tree, I think one thing that's interesting is backing all the way up and looking even before Christianity developed, seeing the significance of greenery, and we can see that. We can see that in Egypt. We can see it that people during the winter months brought palms inside. We can see it in Rome, and of course we can see it in Northern Europe as well.
And there's something too that happens in the Middle Ages when they begin their guild mystery plays, where each guild, such as the bakers or the carpenters, would put on a play. And one of the plays they put on was Adam and Eve. And they would have the paradise tree. And the paradise tree referred to the tree in the garden in which Eve plucked the apple. And as we have that image, we also have the image of the Christmas pyramid, which was a kind of a triangular wooden shape that they would put decorations on, figurines, evergreens, bulbs, candies, all kinds of treats for the kids and everyone else. And these two merge together. And as they merge together, you have the Christmas tree.
You know, in some respects, all this goes back to Gregory the Great, who talked about the importance of claiming other people's traditions and working with them. St. Nicholas is fascinating for so many reasons. He grew up in a rich family. His parents died when he was fairly young. He became a bishop at an extremely young age and was extremely well respected.
And my favorite story of him is of the stockings. Allegedly, there was an impoverished man who had 3 daughters, and he did not have the money for their dowries. And so without dowries, they were going to have to walk the streets. They were going to have to earn their monies in other illegitimate ways. And St. Nicholas heard about this, and at night, when the daughters had hung their stockings up at the fireplace to dry because they had 1 pair of stockings, allegedly he came and he put the gold coins into their stocking. And it might have come through this chimney, who knows, but somehow coins got into the stockings and gave the girls dowries. And so they were able to marry. I think one of my favorites would have to be the candy cane, because it's on my tie, so I have little candy canes all over. And the candy canes allegedly were developed in 1670 at the Cologne Cathedral. During the nativity services, the children, of course, would be very unruly. To keep them quiet, they would give them these kind of white sticks of candy, and they would become the candy canes. As time went on, of course, you would add peppermint, which was kind of a hyssop for purification, and wintergreen. And so the flavors came along later on, but it was this time to give them this symbol of the shepherd's crook, that Jesus as the good shepherd will be with you and take care of his sheep, of whom you are one.
I think my favorite would be just the creche scene in general, just the nativity scene, which we don't see come about till St. Francis. And St. Francis was trying to figure out a way to communicate the Christmas story, particularly to people who don't read. I saw a creche scene recently that had Santa in it and Frosty in it. And taking them out, and then the animals, sort of working backward in time, the animals were added later. They were in Gospels that never made it into the New Testament. So if we take the animals out, and then if we look at the wise men, who really came later, if we're left with the shepherds, had a pretty lousy reputation in their day. If we're left with Mary, who's young, she's pregnant, I think when we stop there and take a photograph of that, then we can actually come to a real good understanding of what Christmas is about.